Hello and welcome to Pips-N-Chits. Today I will be playing Welcome to Your Perfect Home, designed by Benoit Turpin and published by Blue Cocker and Deepwater Games. And with that, before we start playing, I want to talk about a couple of things. There are two solo versions that come with the game. There is the standard version of the solo play, which is in the book, and also there is the Alexis variant, which uses some advanced rules and you're competing against some additional NPC players. However, I'm not going to be playing with the advanced rules today. We're just going to play the standard version, and we're also not going to be using roundabouts. So I've already marked off the roundabouts here. Two things I want to talk about setup really quick. I had already chosen these three cards here, and the reason being for that, why I've already chosen them, is I already actually made a recording of this using this new document camera, and I had some audio issues. So my previous game, I scored 94 points, so I figure I'm going to replay the game. I've reshuffled my decks here, and I'm going to use the same plans and see if I can get close to or hopefully beat 94. Let me tell you about these plans. In order to score the maximum amount of points on the left-hand side, I have to complete these plans before the solo card comes up, and I'll talk about this in a second here. If I don't achieve that by the time the solo card comes up, these plans get approved, they get flipped over to their other side here, and then the maximum points I can only achieve are then reflected on the right-hand side. So I definitely want to work on these plans prior to the solo card coming up. And again, about these plans, so plan number one, I want 3 blocks with 3 houses each, and if I can do that, I will get 8 points. On plan number 2, I have to build all the parks on at least 2 of the 3 streets. So this first street, I have 3 parks. This second street, there are 4 parks. And on this third street, there are 5 parks. If I can ever complete 2 of these, I will go ahead and get those 7 points. And finally, our third plan here is I want 1 block with 1 house, 1 block with 2 houses, and 1 block with 6 houses. And if I can pull that off, I will get 12 points. So speaking of the solo card, this is a mistake a lot of people make when setting up this game is once they divide their deck into 2 equal decks, they just put this directly on top. And that's not the case. You actually will put this card in and shuffle this deck. So that solo card will come up sometime in the second half of the game. You don't exactly know where it's going to come into the second half of the game. It might come early, and it might come later on. So I shuffle that into this deck, and we go ahead and place the other shuffled deck on top of that. So we know again that that solo card is somewhere in the bottom half of this deck. And once that solo card comes up, these plans are then approved and flipped to the other side. Another mistake a lot of people make is they play with the numbers facing up. You don't do that. You actually start the game with all the effects side up, so you never see the numbers of the houses, so it's kind of harder to plan ahead. That being said, we'll go ahead and start with round number 1. And what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 cards and we're going to choose 2 of them, 1 for the number and 1 for their effect. So we have 14 and a park. We have 10 and bis. And we have 7 and a fence. So looking at my layout here, I definitely like that 14 to put at the end, but I also want to get a park as early as I can. It's not a bad thing to start off with a fence. I could subdivide one of my streets up already and maybe start working for the 6. So I might go ahead and do that and at the same time mark a pool. So why don't we go ahead, not a pool, but one of the parks here. Actually, maybe I'll put that 14 here and take the fence. Or do I put the 14 here? Boy, it's actually kind of tough the first move out of the gate. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and just put the 14 up here. Don't get a lot of 14s or 15s in the game, and we'll go ahead and grab the fence. And the one thing about fences is you don't have to build the fence on the same street that you put the house. So I'm going to go ahead and use that 14, like I said, that fence, and I'm just going to just subdivide this street right off the bat, right there, and get that into 2 blocks of 6. So moving on, we have 9 in a fence. We have 9 in a market, and we have 12 in a park. I kind of like that 9 and a park. I wouldn't mind subdividing one of these streets out a little bit more either. So they're kind of another tough call here. But it's early on in the game. So why don't we go ahead and I'll grab, well, I'd rather work on parks, I think. So let's grab a 9 and that park right now. And we'll throw the park right up here, or excuse me, the 9 right up here, and we'll mark off this first park. We have 13 and bis. We have 15 and a market. And we have 9 and a temp agency. Well, I like that 15. That wouldn't be so bad, but to put at the end, because again, there's not a lot of 15s in here, but I don't like using the bis or the temp agency for that. I'd almost rather take the market. And I think I can maybe grab that 13 and put it next to this 14. So why don't I do that? That's kind of a gamble, but let's do 13. And I'm going to go ahead and take the market, and I'm going to mark off a 3 down here because I will score more points if I get blocks of 3s, and I am going to be working on that later. Okay, next round, we have 11 in a fence, we have 9 in a park, and we have 7 in a temp agency. I like that fence again. I like that 11. I just don't want to waste it up here on a pool. I could maybe put the 11 down here and start subdividing this area up a little bit more. Maybe we'll do that. So why don't we take a gamble here? I'm going to go ahead and put the 11 right there. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and take that park. And the parks, though, you do have to build on the same street as you do the number of the house. So we'll go ahead and mark that park. We have 5 in market, 10 in temp agency, and 15 in a park. Wow, okay, I like that 15 right off the bat. Why don't we go ahead and fill in this, oh gosh darn, if I use that 15, well, I want that park though too. I'll tell you what, I'm going to take that 10 and that 15. I'll go ahead and put the 10 right here, and we will mark off another park right there. Okay, like the pools, we have a 3 in a pool, we have 3 in a fence, and we have 11 in a fence. So I really like that pool a lot. Why don't we go for the pool? So I'm going to do a 3 and the pool, and let's go ahead and mark that right up here. And we got our first pool on the board. Moving on to the next round, we have an 8 in a pool, we have 9 in bis, and we have 6 in bis. Actually, I'll take the 9 and the pool again. I'll put the 9 down here, which gets me closer to finishing up this block here, and grab that other pool. That'll score me some points right there. Okay, we have 12 and temp agency. We have 14 and a market. And we have 9 and a park. Well, unfortunately, I've already used the 2 9s. I already have a 14 up here. I could do a 12 and a park. Actually, you know what? I will do a 12 and a park, and this works out nicely. I'll get the 12 down there and another park. That worked out pretty good. Next round, we have 11 and a market. We have 4 and a pool, and we have 10 and a market. Gosh, I kind of like that 11. 11 and a pool, maybe. Yeah, so why don't we take the 11 and another pool up there, and that scores me more points, and move on to the next round. We have 8 and a fence. We have 8 and a market. And we have 1 and a fence. Well, I definitely want to use that 1. That's great to have. So why don't we go ahead and use that 1, and we will mark it right there. And I want to subdivide things into 3s. So why don't I use this fence here, and we'll block this one off, maybe start our first 3. Now, I can further subdivide this later on, too. Remember, I need a 1 and a 2, so if I get another fence, I could block those off. That might work out for me there. We have 11 and a park. We have 1 and a market, like that. And we have 10 and a fence. I want to take that other 1, I think. I don't have a pool, so why don't we go ahead and put that 1 down here. And, well, we might as well grab that park. I only need 1 more park to finish off this street here, which will get us halfway to this one, and it will also score me 18 points at the end of the game. So moving into next round, and we are 3 in temp agency, we are 13 in a pool, and we are 5 in a park. Well, it kind of be hard for me not to grab that 5 in a park, although I like that pool. If I could do a 5 in a pool, but no, this gets me, I think, a little bit closer. I might have to sacrifice this pool to get that park. I can't do the 13 up here. Well, I could do the 3. I could do the 3 in the park. So I would really like to get that pool. Yeah, this might be a mistake, but let's go for it. Why don't we go ahead and put the 3 down here and a park. So we finished 1 street full of parks. I need 1 more street to go, and that gets me 18 bonus points at the end. We're approaching the halfway mark. We're at 6 and a fence, 9 in a pool, and 1 in a park. Oh man! Well, I'll tell you what. I'll take the 1 in the pool. That works out nice right there. 1 in the pool. So we're moving up on the pools quite readily. Okay, going into the next round, we have 10 in a pool. We have 13 in a pool. 13 and a temp agency, and 5 in a fence. And I'll tell you what, this is what I've been waiting for. I'll take that 13 and that pool. This 13 will go down here. We'll grab another pool. And now I'm only 1 house away here for completing or getting this block of 6, which is nice. Okay, next round. We are at 7 in a park. We're at 7 in a market. and 2 in market. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll take that 2, I think, and that park. So we'll go 2 there and a park. I need 1 more park to complete this. That'll complete that plan. And I got my first little block of 3. So that worked out nicely for me. And we are definitely about halfway done now. So starting at this point here, that solo card. So I want to try to complete these as quickly as I can. So we have 7 in a market. We have 8 and bis. And we have 11 and a market. Hard for me to use the 11 since I already have 2 out. I guess I could use the 8. Why don't we do that? Why don't we get the 8? Well, let's try to get the 8 down in here. So that takes out of the 8, and we'll use a market action. And I want to get more 3s out there, so I'm going to mark off my 3. Okay, so we have 2 and a park. And unfortunately, this is not good for us. The solo card came up. It was towards the top half of that deck. So unfortunately, I never completed any of these, which is too bad. I was so close. I probably could have completed that one this turn right here. That's a shame, though. So these get flipped, and now the most I can get point-wise is going to be on the right-hand side, and that's too bad. Darn. We have 7 in a pool, and we have 4 and a market. Well, I guess I could go for the 4 here in the and another park. I can complete that. Do I want to use that pool anywhere? I could do the 4 in the pool here. That would actually score me some good points, but if I finish this off, I'll get 10 extra points. I think I'm desperate for that. So why don't we go ahead and use the 4 and the park? So we'll put the 4 there and the park. And now I have completed plan number 2. I have all the parks on street number 1 and all the parks on street number 3. So at the most, though, I can only score 4 points, and that will go into number 2. Okay, so we have 4 in temp agency, we have 8 in a park, and we have 3 in abyss. I need some fences. This is not working out for me. I don't want to use the 8 up here. I guess I could either use the 4. I could use the 4 in the, oh gosh, I don't, if I use the 4 down here, I'd like to use this park possibly. So we've got to build the park on the same street. So I'm either going to use the 3 or the 4. I'll go ahead and put the 3 here and mark off that park. Need to get some fences. So we have 11 in a park, we have 5 in a park, and we have 12 in a market. Well, boy, I guess it really doesn't matter. Let's get the 11 and a park, and let's put that right there, and we'll mark off another park. I have 7 and a park. We have 8 and temp agency, and there we go, 2 and a fence. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and put that 8 right here, and I'm going to further subdivide this out so I can get a block of 1, and then I have a block of 2. And if I can complete this last house here, that will get me at least this bottom one right here. But see what I did though is I just gave up a 3. That might hurt me in the long run. Okay, we have 14 in a fence, 15 in a fence. There we go, like that. And we have 10 in a park. So I'm definitely going to use that 15. Going to put that 15 right there. And we'll go ahead and use that fence. We'll go ahead and put that fence right here. So this will get me 3, but now I've completed this 6. So I'll go ahead and just mark that there. I've got that on 6. I have this block of 1 for one house, and I have 1 block of 2 houses here. So that will have me complete plan number 3, and I can only get 7 points for that. Moving on, we have 6 and temp agency, we have 6 and a fence, and we have 9 and a market. Well, I think I want to take the fence. And I might go ahead and take that. Let's see, do I want to put that 9 anywhere? No, I'll go ahead and take that 6. And I'm going to put that 6 down right down in here. And I'm going to use this fence. And let's go ahead and further subdivide this street right up here. That'll get me at least 1 more block of 3. So right now I have 1 block and 2 blocks, and if I could get 1 more block, I can at least get that. So we'll do 5 in a fence, we'll do 8 in a fence, and we will get 12 and a pool. Oh boy. Well, let's see. Can I put that pool anywhere? I could get the 5 and the pool right there, which might not be bad because that'll start scoring me more points. And we are about 3/4 of the way through. So let's go ahead. Although I do like that fence though, and I would like to further subdivide. So if I could put the 5 here, you know what? We're gonna forego the pool. So we're gonna take the 5 and this fence. We will mark this 5 right here, and we will go ahead and put this fence up right there. And now I have completed the 3 blocks of 3. So I have 1 here. I cannot further subdivide that. I have 1 here. And I have 1 on the end right there. So that allows me to complete that, which gives me the total of 4 points there. Although it's a shame I had to give up that pool. Okay, we have 4 and an abyss. We have 6 and a pool and 7 and abyss. You know what? I'll take the pool. Might as well. Yep. Let's go ahead and put the 4 right there, and we'll grab that pool. That's a nice consolation prize. And we will continue to the next round. Probably got about 3 or 4 more rounds left. We have 6 in the park. We have 12 and abyss, and we have 4 in a park. It'd be really nice. We're going to go ahead and use that 12. We'll put that 12 right down here, and we will just grab that 4 for another park. Also, if I can get 1 more park, we'll get the 14 bonus points there too. But again, I think I only have about 2 more rounds. So we have 10 in a fence, we have 5 in a market, and we have 8 in a market. Oh boy. Well, I don't think we're going to get any more pools here. We're almost out of cards. So I might as well just grab this. Well, can I make any more threes here? Well, uh, boy, it's going to be hard for me to do that. It wouldn't be bad for me to put the 10 here. Yeah, why don't we do that? Let's put the 10 up here, and that'll at least get me an additional point here. And then the only thing that we're scoring up right now is threes. So let's use a market and we'll score off that right there. And I believe this might be the last round. So we have 6 and a market. We have 13 and a fence. Oh man, and we have 8 and park. Oh man, I'm tempted. Yeah, I might as well just grab that park because that'll get me bonus points here. I'm not going to be able to score anything else. So why don't we? It doesn't really matter where we put. Well, we'll just put the 13 at the end here, and we'll grab that park. And we have no more cards to draw. So we are at the end of the game, and now it's time for final scoring. So out of our plans, I got 7 and 4 and 4 because I never completed when they were on, because that solo card came up and got them flipped. So we have, what is that? 4 and 4 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we have 15 points here. Our parks, I had the maximum amount of parks on this. So there's 10. We had the maximum amount of parks there. So that's 14. So there's 24. And then we have 18 there. So I believe, what is that? 24, 34. Boy, I'm so bad. So it's 24, 18, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 8, 9, 10, 12. So 32 points. There, I have 21 for pools. I did not use any temp agencies in this game, so that will score me 0 points. And I could only score 7 points if I had marked off at least 6 of those. We didn't mark off any. So now, time to check our markets. How many ones did I have? I had 1 here and 1 block up here, so I had 2. So that's a total of 2 points because it's 2 times 1. How many 2s did I have? I think I just had that 1 2. So that's also 2 points. 3s. I have 1 3, 2 3s, 3 3s. Too bad I couldn't get that one in, so I have 3 there. So so it's 6 times 3. That's 18 points there. Do I have any 4s? I do not believe I have any 4s. No. So that's 0. So there's 0 points there. Any 5s? I did not have any 5s. So that's 0 points. I did have 1 6. So that gets me 6 points. So what do we have here? We have 18, 19, 20, 22. So we had 28 points down for the market. I did not use any BIS, so there was no penalties there, so that's 0. And I did not have any forced illegal movements, so there is 0 penalty there. So now we just add up our scores. So I have 28 and 21, 8, 9, so that's 49. I'm going to add 32, 9, 10, 11, 4, 5, 6, 7, so 81 and 15. Wow, I actually got 96 points. That actually beats my original score of 94. So even though I was unable to score a lot of the points here because of the solo card. This really helped me out here, getting these bonus points for the parks, and then obviously getting this market here of 3 times 6 right there, getting that 18 points for the threes. So there you have it. Now we'll go ahead and name our park, or excuse me, name our city. And because I completed all these parks, let's just call it Welcome to Park City. And there you have it. So that was the solo game of Welcome to Your Perfect Home. I'm Jason with Pips-N-Chits. If you'd like to see more of these videos, go ahead and leave me a comment below. Perhaps we can play the advanced rules there. Go ahead and hit subscribe, leave me a note, and until next time, we'll see you later. Have a great day.